Good morning, good morning. Not financial advice, educational purposes only. Thank you, good Lord, for a new day to trade. Shorting small caps is very, very high risk. So I have PMAX pulled up. This was probably one of the better plays this morning. I overslept a little bit, so kind of took my time getting on live today. But anyways, we'll get started. So no trades for me so far, even though PMAX looks like it was a pretty solid setup. Morning, morning. Scanning over things, like I said, y'all are seeing it live. Haven't been up too long. Besides PMAX, though, I'm not really seeing anything else that looks too interesting. And I already missed most of the move on PMAX, so I'm going to obviously not try to force position here, but it looks heavy. AIRS got rocked a little bit. Yeah, I think a lot of shorts got rocked yesterday because WNW, a lot of the bigger Twitter X people I noticed got rocked by WNW. And we played in our group too, even though probably more people traded it than they should have. This is more of a experienced trader type of trade. It was cool because T-Bone he traded this well, and he kind of traded it by just like averaging up in it, where I got in it at multiple spots, like 5, it broke, I would cut, 10, caught a little scalp, then ended up cutting it, and then catching backside. So mine was more like try to find the top, cut if I'm wrong. Ended up being green on this trade, and then T-Bone had a little bit different strategy. He has his own channel on the Discord as well, but the group got to see 2 different ways it was traded, and we both were green on it. And I noticed a lot of the X people got tore up on that play, though. Oh, that was the wrong one. I meant to talk about AIRS. Yeah, AIRS, when it made that big move before market open, I assume is what you're talking about. And going forward, and this is just for everyone, once you start seeing this pattern where it's like walking up like this, that's kind of why I decided not to play it this last time. But again, I always joke around and say this, a broken clock's right twice a day. So I got, I said that I thought this might happen, but kind of got lucky on it, avoiding this one. There's times where I have ignored these signs and got rocked too. So PMAX looks like it's definitely going down. But like I said, I know there's traders that trade only these backside confirmation moves, but I don't like entering on red candles personally. Even though I did on WNW, because backside Chinese likes to do moves like this, so I took the risk here at 10 when it failed. But typically I don't like entering on red candles. I'm just not as good at it. So I'm gonna leave PMAX alone. Yeah, the funny thing is rookie numbers is same thing with me. Like the one I went the heaviest on was HCWB. Remember yesterday live stream? We saw like a phase 2 news that like immediately flushed, and then the play that gave the biggest move at market open, this is before WNW, was preclinical news. So that's before phase 1. So again, this goes back to my thesis about why I don't trade too heavy and I trade more of like quantity. You know, I try to play a few B or A setups instead of just holding my breath and waiting for one A++ setup, because your thesis can be right, but these stocks, they don't always, you know, sometimes they push and there's no rhyme or reason. So, you know, why would the preclinical news push way harder than the phase 2 news? I don't know, but there's other factors and sometimes they do. So part of the game. And I'm bad about that too. Sometimes my thesis will be way too strong on a ticker. Most of the time it's right, but occasionally it's not, and you can't really make sense of it, and that's small caps. I think. Big flush on PMAX. Hope some of y'all are holding. Hi, I am new here. Nice to, thanks for joining, Nordic. Usually get started a little before now, but overslept a little. But yeah, so I'll hang around, get my scanners up. It's 7:30 now, so let's see if there's any new PRs that come out. I'm gonna get my backup scanner set up as well. They're not really seeing too much movement though. So my main scanner I use, but it's a little dialed in for this bear market. I probably should have loosened it up. That's why I use it like a little backup scanner. Just like a little free YouTube scanner, but it's super obnoxious and it's not dialed in obviously because it's YouTube. But the main one I use is Trade Ideas, which Alberto, which by the way, they are running a St. Patty's Day sale that ends today. You can get 25% off if you use code TBOWS, TBOWS, the Bear of Wall Street 25. I really like this scanner, but I have it a little too dialed in and it misses some plays sometimes. So I'll have this little backup YouTube scanner. That's why I wear my earphones, which I'm not on. I don't have my video up right now, but the point is that's Trade Ideas is my main scanner. BIAF is pushing a little bit. Oh, it is. I'll get it pulled up. Similar to what I was talking about yesterday, very common pattern. Big push the first day, not much the second day. Third day it rips again. So I'm gonna let it push a little bit more. This might not be a bad one to scale into even right here, but I'm gonna let it push at least to probably 250. See how it wicked up here a couple times at 250? Seemed like it was a pretty strong level the first day, so I might wait for it. Probably not a bad one to scale in, get a little small position before then, but I'm gonna wait till 250 since I'm still waking up. Or probably like 245 or something. Scale in all the way till about 270. Where did it peak at? About 273. Okay, I'm grabbing my locates. Big order at 240. It's eating through it. I'm gonna jump in a little early here, so I went ahead and got me my first little starter position. $25 for 1,000 shares. A little pricey, but I've seen worse. TradeZero. It's wild. I get asked that every day, and it's on my it's literally on the screen. TradeZero voted best short selling broker. So I'm not gonna push something I'm not using. I use TradeZero. So force a little entry at 240. I want to add size at 250 and then even more size at 270. Because y'all know that's how I trade these. Small initial, then when I get to a level I like, I add a little bit more size and then a little more size on my final stab. So if it flushes here, it'll be a base hit, but I'd like to see it push a tad bit more personally. No, you go. It's funny. It's not just you. Every day I get asked that. So I was like, I need to make that area like blink. This is my, or maybe I need to put, this is my broker. So we're back to VWAP. If I'm gonna be a little greedy, wait for a bigger move down. This probably isn't a bad area to trim, but I want to see if we get a little bit bigger move. Which might be a little risky since nothing else is moving, so this one might get the money flow. But yesterday, everything was flushing. I'm gonna assume that's gonna happen today until it proves me wrong. PMAX, it's already flushing, so I'm gonna assume the same today. Might trim a little bit here, but again, I only entered 1,000 shares because that was my first stab, so I don't really have much to trim. So I hit my first little trim, 222. And I'm gonna hold the rest to see if we come back to reality. Do they let you short with a cash account, no margin? I should know this. I don't. If you're international, all you need is 500 bucks. I think in the States you need 2,500 bucks. But I don't know if it's. I think you got to have margin for short selling always. Could be wrong. Yeah, Josh, 2,500 in the margin. Yeah. There we go. Nice little base hit to start the session off. Trimmed a little bit more there at 216. So now just holding some runners to just see if it round trips back to $2 or something. Decent bounce on the 1 minute candle. No ads until it gets back to 250, just in case it wants to keep pushing. I'm only in 300 shares now though, 'cause I already trimmed 700. This is why I like to trim on the way down. Not playing this retest, I'm gonna wait for 250. Might not be a bad entry here at 240, but I'm gonna wait for 250 because that was a strong bounce. But just holding a few. Good morning, Hebrew. 240 looking like it might have been a good spot to re-add, but I didn't. What ended up happening to PMAX? Yeah, nasty flush on it. PSQH. Yeah, I haven't gotten that other scanner set up yet. I forgot what I was doing. PSQH. Oh yeah, it's getting a nice little push. So what's the story with this one? Oh, that 92 cent was probably the entry. Oh, look where it went to, 92 cents. So Let me see how the locates look on this one. Oh, they're not bad. Disaster of a company. All red on AskEdgar. Fourth quarter earnings. Earnings are not my favorite plays to short, because you kind of got to dig into there, see why it's pushing. I like the ones I can just read a quick headline and know it's BS, but let's dig in a little bit. Gets north of 90 again, I'll probably take a stab. Net revenue 18.2 million compared to 10.1 million for the previous year, an 81% increase. Decrease in operating expenses. Not as big of a loss as the previous year, 17% improvement. Loss per share for the year ended at 0.81 cents compared to $1.80 for the previous year. So decent improvement. But it would have been a short at 92. So BIAF released some news. Bioaffinity Technologies lung provides actionable results and helps patients avoid costly invasive procedures. I'm reading through it now. I'm not really seeing anything that makes me believe it's they didn't add a lot of details in this PR. The patient? So is this one patient? Is a 71-year-old former 20-pack a year smoker with a history of pneumonia. So getting my stab at 250. This looks like this was just a PR on one patient they did it on. So added my 1,000 shares up here. So now I'm in 1,300 shares, and then bigger size at 270. I'll add 2,000 shares up there. But yeah, this looks pretty weak to me. about short selling. Oh, CYCU. Nice flush on PSQH. I love when these companies post these PRs and they blame it on short sellers, why their company sucks or their stock sucks. When they have a history of insane amounts of dilution, they're almost all red on AskEdgar. So I'm gonna hold BIAF. It's starting to hold a trend here a little bit, but I'm gonna still try to catch it. Maybe if we get back down to 235, I'll trim a little bit off since I got a pretty good fill at 250, but probably wait for a little bit bigger move on it. Yeah, it's the bag holder selling. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to blame short sellers, so that's what everybody does. Yeah, really nice flush on PMAX today. Really nice flush on that other play I just pulled up. I already forgot what it was. PSQH. Went right to that 92 level and died. And for the newbies, the reason why I drew that level, I was a little slow entering just because of this wick down right here. So I would have taken a stab if I would have been ready there, and then bigger size here at $1. You can see there's a little bit of resistance here, but couldn't even make it past the 92 level, which makes sense because we're in a small caps have been pretty dead pre-market, or they've just been flushing pretty consistently. Yeah, no, it's been pretty slow, but at least we're getting plays now. I didn't like, what was it, November? Or was it end of January? I can't remember. My memory's trash. But where we weren't getting very many PRs. I like this market. At least we're getting some pops. Or we weren't getting very many PR pumps. So like there wasn't really much to short. But you're right. Very weak overall though. None of these very few of the moves are really sustaining. This is definitely a short for me because it looks like the new PR was only based on one patient, which is, not a lot of evidence there. Justin, what was your bad habit in trading that it was hard to kick, and how long did it take to kick it? Good question. Give me a second to think about it. Probably averaging up blindly. I see so many new traders do that, and they always have to learn the hard way. Like friends that are close to me, newbies. We've been in slow markets, so averaging up, averaging up, averaging up, averaging up, averaging up, and then just assume they always come down. I don't know why. No matter how many times I can say it till my face is blue, that's everybody's favorite strategy. And it took me blowing up many, many, many accounts to realize that that's not a strategy. It works often in bear markets, but you get destroyed in bull markets. And it took me too long to catch on to that. And I was a culprit too, so that's why, not being a hypocrite, but I didn't have anybody in my ear telling me, yo, chill. So that was probably the big one. And you can have an averaging up strategy. I scale into plays. You just, the key, again, not financial advice. I think the key is just having a max loss. Like, okay, cool, that can be your strategy, but you got to have a number that when it hits, you're done, or you're going to blow your account. So that's one. Because it's been working a lot in the market we've been in. Yesterday we saw a pretty big push on WNW. That was one of the bigger pushes this year. So that strategy actually hasn't been that bad because we haven't had consistent 1,000% gainers, things like that. Like we'll go through a phase last year, the crypto treasury era, there was almost 1,000% gainers daily. And they don't start at 1,000%. They start at 100%, 200%, 300%, 400%, and then they go up. So if your strategy is just average up blindly and never cut, you're going to get rocked. So it took me a little too long to catch on to that. But again, that's why I've adjusted my strategy. Like even talking about yesterday, WNW, like I ended up cutting like 3 times before I was green on that trade, I believe. But then I ended up, but if I would have kept averaging up from 5 with my size, because I got, I was in decent size for me, I would have hit my max loss. So instead, it didn't work, cut, then try this other key level. It actually did work at 10. I made a little bit of money, but I held, then stopped out of the rest. And then whenever I confirmed backside, when it failed this candle right here, when it failed $10, I was like, okay, we might be backside. Where my old me would have averaged up blindly, and I would have, just like I saw a lot of people on X, like that Chris Verma dude, he ended up, oh, let's go, BIAF. Let me trim some here, then I'll keep talking. Okay, trim some there. Like he lost like 45K yesterday, and then I forget what these other people's names are, but a lot of people got like hundreds of thousands. You know what I mean? I'm just like, God, how does everybody have the same strategy? They just average up blindly on a Chinese ticker. And it wasn't just him. He's just one of the few I respect that I follow. Well, I won't even say follow. I check like once a week how these people do. So that's probably the biggest thing. JBA. Looks a little too liquid for me, guys. I'm gonna wait and see if it gets a little more volume. And again, nothing wrong with averaging up. I still do that. But the key with averaging up is just having that max loss. And then don't go too heavy too early. So what was your, let's see. So you look for a previous key level to average up like support and resistance. Yeah, basically. And then whenever my thesis is wrong, I just cut. Unless it's one I want to scale into. And that's what's hard to teach. Is some plays that are overhyped, trash news, you know it has a history of dumping hard, like those would be the ones I usually average into. But if it's a ticker I'm not too familiar with, I'll usually try to find, like for this one, it was just breaking, just pushing hard. So I was just playing like psychological levels, mainly like $5, $10, because there wasn't anything I saw on the chart that was really strong. I noticed with WNW when it broke 10, it also where it had its first strong break of the 9 EMA on the 5-minute. Was that part of your entry? The first time or the second? Oh, yeah. So when it broke down right here, that was. So again, I don't play red candles too often, but backside Chinese. How many times in the Discord did y'all hear me say backside Chinese? Probably 10 times. And that's just because I want y'all to like look at the things I look at. And that was up here. We were talking about it. 8 o'clock. Let's see if we get some news. But when it pushed right here at 10 and it could not hold and it fell back down when this candle closed. Y'all know I pay a lot of attention to candle closing because I got out at 10:03 right here. And luckily I missed this whole move because the 5-minute candle closed green above 10. That's an exit for me. It invalidated that trade. So I got out. And then the same effect with this one. When it ended up closing, it was right at 10. SBEV's pushing. Then we'll go back to education. SBEV. It's not enough on it yet. BIAF is falling nicely. Might get some money rotation since it's 8 o'clock. I want to wait for SBEV to push a little bit more. It pushed to about the 75 range recently and then a random little pop to about 90. I actually might get a position here on SBEV. 3 million. Yeah, I'm gonna scale into it. But let me make sure the news isn't too strong. So I'm in it, but small, so I can do a little bit of due diligence. I'm not seeing any news. What are y'all seeing? Y'all see any news? So I'm only have runners on BIAF at this point, trimmed out of most. KIN, what is it? KIN, KNDI. fake out. FLYX. Ooh, and we're at 200s. I'm grabbing locates. I'm gonna enter this one. I'll do some research afterwards. All right, I'm in it. And let's do some research. Oh crap, I done messed up my screen. Okay, cool. And the first attempt only got a partial fill, but it just bounced back up and got the full fill. So, why did this one alert me? This is a bigger market cap. I was trade ideas too. I usually don't like 300 million. Is that accurate? I do like that it's at the 200s and I'm in the money now, but I might close it quick if that's true because I don't like the 232. Yeah, I'm gonna start trimming here at 3. There we go. So first fill at 308. So I'm only holding half my shares. Kind of forced an entry here. Got in at 328. But I'm gonna hold the rest to see if, well, now we're under 3. So I'm gonna trim some more here. I wasn't able to get it under 3, but trimmed a little bit more at 302. So now I just have some runners. See if it keeps falling. I haven't even looked at the news yet. Again, I can get away with that in slow markets, and hot markets a little dangerous. Starlink installation on Challenger aircraft and secures multi-aircraft Starlink agreement. So they have internet now? I mean, I don't really. Is this a collab or they just use Starlink now? So it's just a Starlink dealership agreement? Okay. So I'm gonna hold these a little bit more. We're only up 20% now. So only holding a few runners on these. Already trimmed out of most. BIAF, I'm still holding a few runners on here. So that's all I'm holding right now. All cash besides a few runners on FLYX and BIAF. I don't like the market cap on this one. A little bigger than I prefer, but the news is weak. They have internet on their flights, cool. Trimming a little bit more here in the 280s. Oh my goodness, what a flush. Trimming a little more, 270, and all I have is 100 shares left. This one might round trip. So I really only have runners now on this one. Oh my goodness, we're in the 260s. And I'm out. Could it round trip? Yep, but I only had 100 shares left, so I closed it. These bigger market caps sometimes don't flush as hard, but this one flushed beautiful, but the PR was trash. Okay, SBEV, kind of forgot about it. So I'm in SBEV. I totally forgot I was in this one. That's not a good thing to do, but all good. So the next entry will be close to 90. I'm basically a little in the money on this one, but oh, and there we go. There we go. So I'm gonna trim a little here at 68 cents. Didn't make much, and then the rest I'm gonna hold for a round trip. There we go. 65 cents. Trimming a little bit more. And now just gonna hold the rest. Only entered 2,000 shares, so it wasn't that big of a position. And the reason I entered 2,000 because it's such a cheap ticker. So it's still only a, what? It's only a $1,300, $1,400 position. BIAF is putting up a little fight though. But I'm already, again, I'm already out of most of these shares. J Money, you can start chat. I know when you can. I know you like the big caps, so you can challenge me all you want, my friend. Just prove that you can make money doing it. We can disagree there. I mean, the small caps like levels too. I think all stocks like levels. Let's see, where's my other earphone? Oh, here it is. No, I know, but when you say like, you use one example of one that finally fades when a lot of big caps grind. Everything's fading right now, bro. Look at it. It's a trash bear market. So, again, my rules come from hot markets. Everything fades in bear markets. This is easy money these days. But sticking with, I like the smaller market cap, and the thesis is very simple. If it's a small market cap, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 million market cap, is a trash company. Once you get 3, 4, 500 million, they're more legit of a company, but they still honor levels and things like that. They just don't, in my history and data, they just do not fade as cleanly. But you can definitely make money on all of them. All levels matter. Yeah. But yeah, we've been in a nice market. Most things have been fading pretty nicely. What was that one that you were talking about yesterday? CMTX? Or I can't even remember what it was. CTMX? Yeah, see, this is a perfect example. You know, J Money found a level, I think, up here, and it stuck to it, and then it ended up fading, but like it's still holding some of its gains. I just like the little trashier ones that usually just give it back quicker. Look at SBEV. I'm gonna close it out. Round trip. And again, just going back to these trash companies, this is why I like them. They just fade a little bit quicker. I'm an impatient person, so I'm gonna go ahead and close these out. Anyways, back to WNW. We had to make a little money first, so it's sitting good today. But yeah, so basically the same concept of why I stopped out here. So the 5-minute candle closed above 10, and I was like, all right, I'm closing. And thank God, because I missed this big move. And the same concept here, whenever it pushed and couldn't hold over 10 and started showing weakness and it fell below the 9. And again, the only reason I added on a red candle because it was Chinese. I love backside Chinese, and then just caught this move to VWAP. I closed way too early though. I mean, I still caught a nice almost $3 move, but a few in the group held for a bigger move and they banked. KNDI. And some of that was due to, obviously, they know what they're doing, of course, and averages where they were at and things like that, but really intelligent play to hold on these backside Chinese. Again, not financial advice. When I say intelligent move, BIAF. I might just close. It keeps bouncing here at this pivot, so I'm probably just going to cover right here. Being a little impatient, but scared to short Chinese since CIIT. Yeah, intraday I'm not as concerned, even though they can obviously halt, but still a little spooked. So that's why I was cutting with this one and re-adding. And again, y'all see how I take profit quick. So I ended up taking profit. I think the first time I played it was here at the 200 EMA. And I did take a little profit there. But again, got a little paper cuts along the way, but never got too negative on it. So with Chinese, I like to do that because, again, we're in a very a very friendly bear market right now. And then like people in the group that did have success with scaling in, they played it smart. Like T-Bone, he's a G. He did scale into it, but scaled small, and then I think added a little bit more heavy at the top. So, and that's the key. That's why I used to get in trouble, is I would get too heavy too early, and by the time it gets to the top, I'm cooked. So that's from experience, though. So that's why newbies, I usually, just caution with scaling. And if you do scale, just make sure you have a max loss, and you'll never, or you should never blow up unless you get caught in, something sketchy like halts and whatever. And T-Bone, yeah, that's right. He added aggressively backside too. So yeah, played it like a pro. And that's what I thought was cool for the group too. Y'all got to see two traders with proven success trade it two completely different ways. And y'all don't know how much I would have paid for that when I was a newbie. I had to learn all this crap the hard way and blew up many accounts along the way. LNAI, very strong. We have a level here on LNAI. It's up 200%. Probably not a bad entry here, but let me do a little more due diligence. It's not moving fast, so I can take my time with it for the most part. I don't even know why it's moving. Y'all know why it's moving? I don't know. I'm probably just going to sit this one out. This just showed so much strength. That's probably a killer entry right here at 64.65, but I'm going to just sit this one out. Yeah, Yeah, SBEV was nice. It went negative. I've already closed it out completely, but at least caught a round trip on it. Yeah, I'm having a good morning, so that's why I'm not forcing LNAI. So let's go back to the question. So I think I'm all cash now. Yeah, I am. So I'm gonna ignore LNAI. I will probably take a stab if it gets to like 80 cents. I'm gonna let it keep grinding. It's showing a lot of strength. It's getting over 100 million 100 million shares, 125 million shares already traded pre-market. That's pretty significant. So I'm just gonna hold off on it. Probably like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a decent scalp from like 65 back down, but showing a lot of strength here, so I'm gonna just wait and see what it does. Let me go back to comments. J Money, big caps like levels, big volume, medium. FYI, the bookmark symbol. Appreciate it, appreciate it. Yeah, I never use that bookmark symbol. I swear to God, this is the only 200 million cap company that I've seen round trip the last month. I know, but again, I don't want to get into that conversation again. Let's see, all levels matter. Maybe obvious question, but is BIAF more likely to grind up or hold since it didn't fade quickly like SBEV or FLYX? Guess they all won't flush quick. Yeah, so again, it goes back to why I like the smaller market caps. The quicker moves down is just the style, and data points towards it too. Like I'm going to follow where the data says. So if data says, you know, certain stocks fade quicker and don't hold, I'm going to be more attracted to those. So it's kind of similar concept with BIAF. So this one right here won't, I mean, I don't know what it's going to do. So this is a third day bounce, which is common. You'll see the first big day, second day it just kind of trades sideways, and third day you'll get a bounce. This one, I'm not really sure if it's going to fade quick or not. A lot of times you'll see this push and fail in pre-market and die and go back to wherever the level it was. So around 190, but since it's putting up a little fight and they were smart, they added a PR on this third day, it might end up grinding a little bit, but I still think this one's going back to reality. You know, it'll probably come back to $2, but it's probably because there's, you know, it's the third day setup. And if y'all ever join me for the after hours in Discord, I've been doing a lot more of those. That's why whenever I go into that, I like fresh new pops, because again, my bread and butter are these SBEVs, these random pumps that don't last. Like, I make money on these plays, but my favorite are the ones that's just not doing anything, completely irrelevant. They release a BS PR, I interpret the PR, and then I take a quick stab at it. So, but I'm not sure what it'll do. I've seen them do both. FBGL. Nasty flush. Little pump going negative. Jeez. I don't really know if I answered your question, but FLYX retesting. Yeah, if it gets back to the 330, 340 level, I'll take another stab at it just because the PR is so trash. It is a slightly bigger market cap, which is not my favorite, but if we get back to the 200, I'll probably take another little stab at it. Bullseye, been paper trading for a long time, smart. So that's the way to do it. Do you always enter with a stop loss, or are you on a trading clip? No, I don't always enter a stop loss. Probably not a bad strategy, but I don't, because if I have a stop loss, I can't close. You can't have more than one open order on TradeZero mobile. You can have like one cancels, what's it called? OTO, or one cancel one order on TradeZero Pro. But no, I usually don't set stops, but I think it's probably smart to have a stop. Always, especially if you're trading something sketchy like a Chinese ticker in pre-market. And if it goes against me, again, it goes back to if I want to scale in or not. If I'm playing a strong level, that my thesis is I want to test this level, and then if it gets invalidated, aka 5-minute closes above it, it keeps pushing, I might close and re-add at another level. But again, it's all discretionary, because if let's say for FLYX, I get in 330, 340, then it proves that it's not going to slow down at this 200 and it starts breaking above 350, I'll probably stop out unless the next level is like 360. If there's another strong level there, then I'll just add there. But let's say the next level isn't till like 5. Like I don't want to wait to average up there, even though 5's a good, psychological level. And there's a strong, let's just say there's, some other resistance here. I'm going to cut and then re-add, but let's say there's a few levels up here, I'll average up to it. So it really depends on what the chart's telling me. I treat each chart kind of like a story. Read it, what the daily's telling you, what the 200's telling you. So and look at this, there's actually a decent level here at 3 too. Look how many times this wicked down here, 1, 2. So a few times. But obviously it's already pushed past that, so I'm not going to play this level. Yeah, OCO, one cancels one, that's right. How do you define those pivot levels? It's pivots traditional auto on TradingView, and I just turn them all off besides the pivot. And again, I never can speak to the pivots level really well. I kind of treat it like a 200. What is but not, I don't treat it as strong as a 200. What is a pivot? Like I'll take entries and things based on it sometimes, but a pivot level is a key level price used to identify potential support and resistance for the current trading session. Is basically a reference price derived from the previous period, usually yesterday's high, low, and close. Institutions and day traders watch it closely, so price often reacts there. So again, I don't always like pay that much attention to it, but you'll notice sometimes they'll respect it. LNAI, it is rejecting off that level, so there probably was a little scalping opportunity here, but turned it down. ACXP, OKLO looks like it might be pushing too. OKLO. Ooh, that's a way too big of. That's why I don't like that YouTube scanner as much, because it tells me tickers I'm not interested in. Let's pull up ACXP. Didn't this long dude say ACXP was a buy at 550? I think so. I think you're right. So this is kind of a multi-day. Oh, I remember this one. We traded this one. And that is where it wanted to go. So this was a multi-day for many days. And it wanted to get to the 200 EMA, and then it's kind of failed, then it pushed. So this 200, look how strong this 200 is. So it came all the way down from $1, pushed all the way to the 200 EMA, and this is why I love the 200 dailies, and I have them on all my charts, whatever time frame I'm on. Then it tried to test it again, failed. So if we get back up there, I'll play it, and I'll probably go heavy there. I mean, it's already failed it twice, but until it gets there, I'm probably not too interested in it. FLYX retesting VWAP. Yeah, it's already pushed over it now. And this is why I don't play VWAP too much in pre-market, unless it's in a clear downtrend. I like VWAP way better. And this is a tip, guys, not financial advice, educational only. But the way I trade it is, I like VWAP way better if it's in a downtrend. If it still hasn't proven it's in a downtrend, I don't like VWAP as much. But if it's in a downtrend and then I love VWAP. Really depends on what the chart's showing. Like BIF is a good example, perfect example. So see, lower highs, and then it failed VWAP here, and it's probably gonna keep going down. So this is a downtrend. And see, it failed it here, But if you haven't confirmed that it's in a downtrend yet, I don't really like VWAP as much. Can it still fail and it not be in a downtrend? Absolutely. But again, this is a probability game. This is a game of odds. So same thing with the market cap. Same thing with whatever. It's just like wherever I can find the best edge. Nothing is 100% in trading. And if you found something, you should share it with me because I haven't found it yet. CREG. Nice little pump. Well, a little pump, but I don't like the way this chart looks. So I'm gonna pass on this one too, unless it gets a really strong push on it. If we get up to the 200, I'll play it. Yeah, this is TradingView charts. I trade mobile. So I just do this for you guys so y'all can see what I'm playing. I mean, it helps me too some because the TradeZero mobile charts are not the best. And when I'm entering and exiting position, I don't have a chart on the mobile, but mostly so y'all can see what I'm trading. But yeah, if CREG gets a strong push here, I'll definitely be interested. Thanks for putting it on my radar. Chinese 20 million float, 25 million market cap. QUCY. Nice little pump. Grabbing some locates. And it's not very liquid, but I'm in it. Took a little stab. So let me do some due diligence. Again, bear market. I can get away with this in bear markets. In hot markets, if you jump in before you look at the news and there's a hot theme, you can get destroyed. Quantum Cyber, and actually I have another order sitting at 97. Quantum Cyber alliance strategy with Trump administration. Ooh, it's got Trump's name in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim some here. Okay, now I'm gonna do a little bit more research. Quantum Cyber alliance strategy with Trump administration national cybersecurity framework targets acquisitions in quantum and cyber defense. Everything's flushing, so this probably will, but I might just bounce on this one. Yeah, we're at 84 cents. I'm just going to take a small win on this one. That PR in hot markets would probably rip, but so I'm just going to take my few cents. And again, guys, that's how I trade. Like if my thesis changes anytime during the trade, even if it's a small loss, small win, big loss, big win, whatever. If my thesis changes on the trade, I'm not afraid to take a big win, big or small win or small loss, break even. You know, everything's flushing in this market, or almost everything. So it might round trip, but the PR just quick glance seemed decent. So I'm just going to sit this one out. BIAF. And again, another example of downtrend VWAP. I like it a lot better. Bro, I only got 19 likes on this video. Y'all help me out. I've been dropping all kind of wisdom today. When I say wisdom, because again, I learned all this the hard way. And again, last day of the free trial, to do the free trial. If you're interested in joining Discord, I pinned the comment. We would love to have you. QUCY. Jeez, everything is round tripping in this market. I'm gonna regret not adding size when things get hot here. Like, cause look, that was a decent PR. Got Trump's name, has cyber security framework in it. It has cyber defense in the name, and it's still flushed. I know the Ross crowd are just getting destroyed right now. And again, I'm not anti going long either. I just don't ever understand why you can't trade both sides. Like when it heats up, you'll see me start taking longs too, but I don't understand why longs are just so anti-shorting. They just rather just get destroyed in bear markets or not make any money. Like we're killing it. It's just so weird to me. But I've always been more open-minded than most people, so I'll trade both sides of it. CREG's pushing here, so speaking of open-minded, I trade Chinese. I told myself I was going to slow down on these, but let's see what's going on with this one. Ross dropped another anti-short video last night, and what a surprise. I should have played it off the 200, but I'm just sitting on my hands. The barrier to shorting is a little higher than going long, to be honest. You have to have more capital. I mean, if you want to lose less capital going long, go ahead. It's not about the barrier. But yeah, if you want to go long with less money, I don't make decisions based on that though. To me, a better strategy is to save up capital instead of lose it going long, just because you can get away with a less of a barrier. But anybody that's paying $4,000, $3,000 for Ross, they have a little bit of capital, so I'd rather put that towards short selling personally. Beautiful flush on CREG. I'm trying to be disciplined and not short Chinese tickers in pre-market, and I hate it. IMCC. Israeli cyber drone news. So I'm gonna pass. But again, even this has been like not it is non-binding though. So it's non-binding agreement to acquire 51% of Black Axe Technology. Is this a cannabis company? It'll probably flush, but again, I'm gonna sit this one out. Yeah, no, this is why I'm gonna probably go back to shorting Chinese. Like, look at this move. Because I'm trying to be disciplined, not short Chinese tickers, I just lost a 50-cent move on this thing. CJ, are you on? Have you started bending that rule yet? Because I'm thinking about it. But yeah, I love the 200 dailies. The reason, and if you're new here, the reason why I quit shorting Chinese and pre-market is because we've seen some just astronomical sketchy moves with these. The ones that give Ross a boner and he posts a video about. And so I've just been sitting on my hands since I've been able to make money other ways, but I love these Chinese tickers. I feel so goofy not shorting the same thing, CJ. Oh gosh. Because they're money. They're money. And the reason I brought up CJ because he's an OG. He's been around for a minute, and we've made good money shorting these things. But every blue moon, there's a sketchy move. So, me being public, I try to be a little more conservative so I don't lead y'all astray. But I might start shorting these behind the scenes and just not telling y'all. Oh, okay. ACXP, this is that level I was talking about. Let me get my locates. Insane move. All right, I'm in. Small, and we'll add, well, not really small, but not big. And if it pushes a little more, I'm gonna add to it. But again, it's failed this level once, twice. So let's see if it does it again. I didn't get the best entry on it, so that's why I didn't get too big. I want to see it push a little bit more, and then I'll add more size. But if history repeats, it should fail this level. Yeah, CJ, that's kind of my plan too. Is like, we know there's going to be another one of those sketchy plays, and maybe that'll make it all worth it. All the ones we set out, let it push and do a irrational move. Anyways, I'm in ACXP here. Kind of rushed an entry, so I don't get the best feel. But again, if it pushes a little over the 200 again, I'll add some more size. I'm in the money though, so all good. Here we go. Let's see if we drop back down. Oh, beauty. Well, this one's fading nicely. I might trim a little here. Okay, trimmed a little there. Just caught about a 40-cent move on it already, so I'll take it. Oh my gosh, money, money. Let's go, let's go. So throw all the shade you want at us short sellers. I could care less because we're banking, so. And Ross's chat right now, they're freaking out. They lost money. And I'm over here just, I mean, I almost made a grand on this play already. No, I paid a lot for the locates, but this is a A+ setup for me. The reason why it's an A+ setup is because it's failed this level twice. I love stacking resistance, so it's failed this level twice. It did push a little over it, but it failed it. No candle was able to hold above it, and I love stacking resistance. So this has a 200 plus previous level it's failed. So I made my money back pretty quick on that one. I don't talk about locate prices as much anymore because my thesis used to be don't overpay for locates. And then one of the traders in my group kind of opened my eyes to if the setup's there, who cares? So I typically don't overpay for them, but if it's a good setup, I'll do it. Lots of locates, you need to use them by end of day. So if it gets one big fade and don't use them all, could be a waste. Yeah, you can sell them back. I'll probably get a decent amount back for these. But again, I'm not going to pretend like it's a perfect. We have, if you can't see the move that some of us just caught there, but yeah, you got to pay locate. So the downside to short selling is you got locates to pay for. We have bigger risks because you can lose more than you put in. But again, that's part of the game. How do you sell back locates? You can, it's a TradeZero feature. You go to sell credits, sell for credit. And they pay you back for them. You can't with CMEG, no. And then going back to somebody said it's easier to do long because you don't need as much money. There's offshore brokers. I don't recommend them because I don't recommend anything I don't use. But you can, J Money, are you still on? How much capital do you need for the one you use? I think it's only like 500 bucks or something. The fees are more, but again, nothing is a perfect system. So if you only have a little bit of capital, again, not financial advice, educational only, but you know, just explore your options. I'm not going to recommend any because I haven't used them, but there's some offshore brokers that you don't need the full 25K. Oh yeah, Ocean Ones is one. Yeah, they only require like what, $500,000 something, or a few hundred bucks. So I'm out of this one. I'm gonna sell it back, and I'll tell you what I get back for them if they buy them back while I'm still on stream. And then there's prop firms you can use as well. And I tried out Trade the Pool. Doesn't really fit my trading style that much, but it's still an option. Yeah, Trade the Pool wasn't my favorite, but still an option. SHIM probably isn't a terrible play, but I don't really like the way the chart looks now. Did somebody say TZ was liquidate only for, because it wasn't liquidate only for me for ACXP. It's weird that you got that message. But yeah, you can flip it with a small account. That's what I did. You know, I didn't come from money. I didn't come from, you know, I'm young. I didn't just have like a lot of extra money laying around. You can build your account, and I think that builds character, honestly. Start with a small account, build it up. It teaches you risk management. Is it easier for people with bigger accounts? Absolutely. That's the, I mean, that's in everything in life. Once you have money, it's easier to make money, you know? So it's no different with trading. But I think it's still possible with a small account because I've done it. And I still only have, and I still trade a small account. I never let it get over 50K. I take all the money out and knock it back down to 27K and then rinse and repeat. I know that's not small for some of y'all, but compared to some of these more public traders out there, I trade a very small account. And that's my insurance policy because short selling, you know, is a little bit more riskier. Not seeing very many other plays I like. Good call on SHIM. Nasty flush on it. FLYX. That's that $3 level I drew on the daily. It might actually start responding to it because it failed it here. This one that I was talking about looks like it might have a little bit of a level here. But I'm going to leave it alone for now. But yeah, pretty good session so far. All green on all the trades, but again, very friendly market conditions. It won't always be this way. Look at SHIM going negative. But I still have success in hot markets, but I like being honest with y'all. This is very short friendly market conditions. No, that's true, T-Mac. I should have been going heavier this entire week, to be honest, to create some padding for when things get hot. Because I struggle a little bit in hot markets because I'm a front side trader. I think that's where backside traders really benefit. I think in these bear markets, I benefit a lot more because I'm a front side trader. But in the hot market, sometimes you got to let the play out and then catch the backside when money rotates away from it. But we'll go through it together. I'll be here. But I might wrap up soon. Have you used DOS with Thinkorswim now? I've only used TradeZero. Going on 4 years now, I think. Final scan. Yeah, I don't like changing too much. If I have something that works, that's why I still trade mobile. Like I'd probably be a better trader if I traded desktop. Quicker, hotkeys, better charts, but maybe one day. TradeZero US, yeah, I'm based in the US. Appreciate it, Algo Assassin. But all right, guys, I'm gonna wrap up. Pretty good session so far. I'll be back tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And again, if you want to join the trial for the Discord, link is in the description. As always, thank y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all for hanging out in the mornings with me. And I'll be back at 7 a.m. Tomorrow.